name Caucasian comes from the fact that the first time anyone laid eyes on white people were in the Caucasus Mountains, at a place that to this very day is called the Pass of Israel by the locals. Adam was not the first man on earth, but he was the first son of God, an entirely new breed, as named in the Hebrew Holy Bible. The Adam, which means to be ruddy or fair conscience, and also to show blood in the face, to blush. The Israelites Hebrews of the ancient Holy Scriptures are the Caucasian Aryan race, and not Jews, whom are in fact Edomites and Canaanites, as Harold Rosenthal admitted several times publicly, both speech and in writing, the children of Lucifer. One of the Indo-European tribes that sought a home in Asia, distinguished from all others by its apparent lack of energy and vitality. That is the tribe whose descendants spoke the language known as Tocharian. They chose to make permanent settlements in a remote region in the heart of Central Asia. When the Chinese first encountered this tribe in the 1st century BC, they did not even recognize a distinct ethnic unit and failed to give it a name. We would never have so much have heard of the existence of the speakers of Tocharian if Buddhism had not flooded Central Asia with its missionaries and succeeded in wholesale conversion of the people in the early centuries AD. Buddhist works were translated into the local languages and Tocharian literature arose, divided into 2 dialects. No precise dates can be given for either the beginning or the end of Tocharian literature. The dates usually given are about AD 500 to 700. The contrast with the other Indo-European nations is obvious. They showed vigour and enterprise, conquered vast and fruitful lands, were resilient in adversity. The Armenians, for example, who have been conquered, subdued, decimated and massacred by more powerful neighbours time and again, nevertheless have contrived to exist till the present day. The Guti appeared towards the end of the first Semitic dynasty, ruling over Babylon. The mere fact that the great Nara-Sim, at the height of his power, could be overthrown by this previously unknown nation is a measure to its vigour and freshness. At least, it has been widely believed that the end of Nara-Sim was due to the Guti. It is assumed that the time of the Guti rule centred around the year 21,000 BC. The Guti descended upon Babylonia from the hills of western Persia, and were ancestors of the Slavic Severians. The Koban culture was primarily genetic ancestors of the northern Caucasian. It was the Koban culture that was the first culture made by the cultural and linguistic ancestors of the Chechens, meaning Chechens first arrived in their homeland about 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. The end of the Koban culture was brought about by the Scythian invasions.
So this is a video demonstration for Find a P. It's an old-fashioned scam, except I do believe they're still doing this in some places. I know for sure they're doing it on Benidorm seafront, and if you see these guys, stay well away, because if they're not scamming you at the front for this, their friends or accomplices are picking your pocket, so steer clear. No matter how tempting it looks or easy, it is not easy and you will lose your money, so please steer clear. What you receive with this is 3 shells and 1 pea, and all you have to do is keep your eye on the pea. Now you move the shells around and you say, what's the pea? Most people will say it's this one. They'd be wrong. A lot of people would say it's this one. They'd also be wrong, because it's always in the last place you'd expect. You can do variations of that move over and over again to fool people on where the pea is. Another little move you can do is have the 3 shells like so, place them on there, and then some people will think it's in this one, show them it's not, place that out the side there, and then move these 2 around, so you have 50-50 chance where's the P. If they say that one, they'd be wrong, and if they say that one, they'd also be wrong, because again the P is in the last place you'd expect. Once you get the move down, you will be able to show the P's under the middle one, the P is under the end one, and the P is under this other end one. So you can click your fingers and make sure the P has totally disappeared and appeared again in the least place you'd expect it, under the mat.
Divide and conquer. Just as a pride of lions will seek to separate a targeted wildebeest from the rest of the herd, so psychopaths seek to isolate their victims from the rest of humanity. They accomplish this through the tactic of divide and conquer. In an organizational setting, psychopaths are the consummate office politicians. They seek to create factions within the organization and then turn those factions against each other to create as much chaos as possible. Psychopaths swim in chaos, and the more, the better. Secretly, they start to draw the gullible, weak-minded, and fellow psychopaths to their side, while intensifying their efforts to have the most talented, honest, and incorruptible members, ones that could have the strength of character to expose them, expelled. They poison the environment in a variety of ways so that everyone feels irritable, edgy, and unable to perform their jobs. Control of the organization slips into the hands of the source behind the dysfunction, the psychopath who created it all.
Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though in battle we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. Can we forge against these enemies a grand and global alliance, north and south, east and west, that can assure a more fruitful life for all mankind? Will you join in that historic effort? In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.